Hey, you are now in the den with Dr. Jen. Why are we here? Sex, love, relationships, self-esteem, and to start thinking about female sexuality outside the box. Our guest today is Kamala Devi, a successful sex and relationship coach and the author of Don't Drink the Punch and Sacred Sexual Healing with Baba Des Nichols. And she's recently appeared on The Morning Show, Inside Edition, the Discovery Channel, and you've just returned from the Tyra Banks Show. Kamala guides tantric practitioners to find and follow their bliss. Welcome.
Thank you.
Congratulations on Tyra.
Thank you. That was fun.
That's awesome. So something I know you talk a lot about is healing and sexual healing. Why do you think this is so important for women?
Well, first of all, sexual healing takes many different forms. And the fact that you even have this show is sexual healing for women, because we're raising awareness. And I just think it's a wonderful service that you offer.
Thank you.
Thank you. And so, you know, the title of the book that we just released is Sacred Sexual Healing. And we take people through a whole journey of all kinds of different forms that could be. That could be like psychological rescripting. It could look like physical, actual sexual healing with the internal organs. It could be a more spiritual and psychic healing, because obviously sexuality happens at multiple different levels.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons it's so necessary in our culture is because we are indoctrinated into this like sex negative cultural repression around sex, and as women in particular, we are empathetic and we feel that. So even if like we're really expressed and liberated sexually, we still get this vibration of women who are like feeling lots of trauma, cultural trauma.
So we still take that on through empathy.
Yeah, we absorb it.
Absolutely.
And so this healing process, I want to say, never ends. You know, no matter where you are in your journey, there's still more healing that can happen to help. You know, basically we heal our bodies and ourselves, but we're also healing the collective wounds.
Oh, so it's a continual journey.
Yeah.
After we do our own, we help everybody else.
Exactly.
It's a neat way of looking at it. Yeah. Well, do you have any advice that you would give women and men specifically around sexual healing?
I think healing itself is, if we boil it all down, it boils down to listening. And so the first thing that I would tell someone is to really learn how to listen, which is to say, you know, actively, not, you know, put your own stuff aside, be present for another, hear what they're really saying. And as you know, women like to talk, and women have been silenced around sexuality. It's like socially unacceptable for them to really talk about their sex. So to the degree that we can really hear women's stories, really hear what their body is saying, really hear, you know, either their wounds and their history or their fantasies and desires, is the degree to which she's gonna start to feel more whole, which is the essence of healing, is wholeness.
Absolutely. So it's being fully present to witness somebody exactly as they are?
Exactly, like holding space for them, listening. And the other piece that's very important is patience. And I say this because a lot of times on the healing journey, we take this big step forward. And then it's like, yeah, I had a breakthrough. And then you see next lover and you're like, oh, I just regressed. You know? Or you have a sex act and it's like, oh, this was the worst sex I've ever had. And what I want to say is that healing is like a spiral journey. You know, it's not, yeah,
linear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we have to have a lot of patience and persistence and say, okay, we made some steps forward and you're going to have a few steps back, but then you'll take a few more steps forward.
So compassion for yourself and your partners.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So how is this all connected to what you would call modern day Tantra, and why is that valuable?
Thank you for asking that. I love that you ask modern day, because there's an important distinction first between Tantra, as practiced in India and Asia, and in the ancient traditional, you know, texts, which I have studied, and what we're talking about, which is more about sacred sexuality. And here in, especially California, but but in America, Tantra is usually sacred sexuality. And the point I want to make, as a Tantra teacher and a sexual healer, is that Tantra comes after the healing. So we have to do the healing work first to clear whether it's your history, your trauma, your wounds. And once that's cleared and you become, as you mentioned, more sexually present, then you start moving into the realm of magic. Then you start like, okay, I'm present, I can become very pleasurable, and the pleasure can get into new states of ecstasy. And so the relationship is anybody who aspires to experience sacred sexual union or experience oneness through their sexual act has to work through their history, and their body has all this muscle memory. And so sometimes the actual act of lovemaking has to be really healing, really patient, to add that listening. And then after all of that's cleared, we can get into really enlightenment through sex.
Now, it's interesting that you said you think before folks should really move into Tantra, they should do their healing first, but I think a lot of folks don't even hear about sexual healing until they are exposed to Tantra.
Yeah, it's a really good point. So not only is ancient Tantra conflated with modern Tantra, but there's also this idea that sexual healing is Tantra.
Right.
And it's really not. They're all very different. And they all weave and inform and interplay with one another. But the important thing here is that real Tantra, the real Tantric experience is embodied one. It's not one you learn in books. It's not ones you can go to classes, and generally when you're going to these sacred sexual classes, you're actually doing sexual healing. You're learning new habits, new programs, and new practices, which is a form of re-healing, re-scripting the past. But Tantra, like the real deal, is experiential, in the moment, spontaneous, totally direct. And it's not about, the practices, the breathing, the movement, the sound, all of that.
Flipping through the pages, trying this, and
Exactly. And at the same time, flipping through the pages is really important, because the more
to give you the base, and then I would guess to fully lose yourself in it is then really getting into Tantra. Oh yeah, I didn't mean it that. I just meant, I know there's like picture books, and people are like, why am I not experiencing the divine?
Exactly. And so it's like we want to learn all these practices, and then once we get proficient at them, then we're more prone to experience the grace of, of sexual union, alchemy, magic.
Nice.
Yeah.
Grace. Excellent. And let's move into our fourth question, which is our randomly generated Gorilla Soapbox question. Let's see what comes up. Oh, you got a good one. If you were in the sexual Miss America pageant, what would your talent be?
Oh, that would be my question. Well, that kind of implies that there's competition, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, who's sexually more? Yeah. And I want to point out that I'm not, sex isn't competitive, because everyone's very different, their own little style and talents. And gosh, it's really like I guess it's like I would see myself taking myself out of the whole contest and being more like the coach. It's like I would like pamper and finesse the contestants and like make them feel beautiful, help them, lead them to their natural talent.
Oh, nice.
Which might be what it means to win the contest is actually discovering your personal best, not that you're like anybody else, but you identify your own truth. Because I really think that, at the core of all of this, it's like listen to yourself, listen to your body, your heart, and then your sexual full expression will come out to the degree that you're true to you.
So your talent is coaching and facilitating others reframe for their own truth.
That's right.
Nice.
Thank you.
If you would like to visit the website blisscoach.com or partnerplayshop.com, you can learn more about the beautiful Kamala Devi, her tantric play and healing, and to find out books on all these topics. The Den recommend If you're in a long-term monogamous relationship that's lost its zest and erotic excitement, then I've got a great book for you, Mating in Captivity, Unlocking Erotic Intelligence by Esther Perel. This is a great book. And you've probably heard the term sexless marriage. It's become a pretty popular term recently. And this couples and family therapist does a really wonderful job discussing how the thing that most of us strive for, intimacy through stability, love, comfort, and emotional coziness, is the exact thing that creates a lackluster sex life: boredom, predictability, and repetition. Couples become so fused in intimacy that it stifles the otherness that most of us need for excitement and arousal. So this author's writing style is engaging and smooth, with lots of examples from actual couples, and more importantly, lots of down-to-earth advice for you. What's that word? Compersion. What's that word mean? Compersion is a term used by practitioners of polyamory, or swingers, or open relationships, to describe the experience of taking pleasure and feeling joy when one's partner is enjoying themselves with another person. So it's quite the opposite of jealousy. Wow. What's your bliss? Visit me at DrJennsDen.com or email me at Jennifer@DrJennsDen.com. So find your balance of intimacy and eroticism, and be kind to yourself. Was it okay that I stayed here for the final? Okay.